Right now, in this very moment, someone is thinking about you. Someone is waking up to the truth of who you really are. They're seeing past the masks, past the walls, past all the things you thought you needed to hide. And here's what I want you to understand. They're not seeing your flaws. They're not focusing on your mistakes. They're seeing your light. They're recognizing something magnificent in you that perhaps you haven't even recognized in yourself yet. You see, we spend so much of our lives worried about what people think of us. We wake up in the morning and we put on our armor. We rehearse our conversations. We try to control how others perceive us. We edit ourselves. We diminish ourselves. We make ourselves smaller because somewhere along the way someone told us that who we are isn't quite enough. But here's the truth that will set you free. You were never meant to be anyone other than exactly who you are. Think about this for a moment. There are over 8 billion people on this planet, and not one of them has your exact combination of experiences, talents, perspectives, and gifts. Not one. You are literally a once-in-all-of-eternity event. The universe will never again create another you. So, when you're trying to be like someone else, when you're dimming your light to make others comfortable, when you're hiding your true self because you're afraid of judgment, you're actually depriving the world of something it desperately needs. You're withholding your gift. And right now, someone is waking up to that gift. Maybe it's someone you've known for years, and suddenly they're seeing you with new eyes. Maybe it's someone new who's just entered your life and they can see clearly what you've been too close to recognize. Maybe it's someone who's been taking you for granted, and life has shown them what it would be like without you. Whoever it is, they're having a moment of clarity about you, and that clarity is going to change things. But here's what I really want you to hear. The most important person who needs to wake up about you is you. Because you can't attract what you don't believe you deserve. You can't receive love if you don't love yourself. You can't be appreciated by others in the way you deserve if you don't first appreciate yourself. Everything in your external world is a reflection of your internal world. When you change the way you look at yourself, the way others look at you will change too. So many of us are walking around with an outdated story about ourselves. We're operating from a script that was written years ago, maybe decades ago, by people who didn't even know us. Maybe it was a parent who was struggling with their own issues. Maybe it was a teacher who had a bad day. Maybe it was a relationship that ended badly. And we took those moments, those judgments, those rejections, and we made them mean something about our worth. We created an identity around them. But those stories aren't true. They never were. You are not the sum of other people's opinions. You are not defined by your past mistakes. You are not limited by what didn't work out before. Every single moment is a new opportunity to choose differently, to think differently, to be different. You are not a fixed entity. You are a constantly evolving expression of infinite potential. When someone wakes up about you, what they're really doing is seeing past the false self you've been projecting and recognizing the real you underneath. They're seeing the kindness in your heart that you try to protect. They're noticing the strength you've developed through your struggles. They're appreciating the unique way you see the world. They're valuing the contribution you make just by being yourself. And this is happening right now. While you're listening to these words, someone's mind is turning toward you with appreciation, with respect, with love, with admiration. They're realizing they haven't told you how much you matter. They're recognizing they took you for granted. They're understanding, maybe for the first time, how rare and valuable you truly are. But let me tell you something else. Even if no one else ever wakes up about you, even if you never receive the recognition you deserve from the outside world, you still have an obligation to wake up about yourself. Because your worth is not determined by whether others see it. Your value is inherent. It exists whether anyone acknowledges it or not. You are worthy because you exist, not because of what you do or what you achieve or who validates you. This is one of the hardest lessons we have to learn. We've been conditioned to seek approval from external sources. We've been taught that our value comes from our accomplishments, our appearance, our status, our relationships. But all of that is temporary. All of that can change. All of that is outside of your control. The only thing that's permanent, the only thing that's truly yours, is your essential nature, your spirit, your authentic self. When you connect with that part of yourself, when you wake up to your own magnificence, everything shifts. You stop needing validation because you're already validated from within. You stop seeking approval because you approve of yourself. You stop waiting for permission to be yourself because you realize you never needed permission in the first place. You were born with the right to be exactly who you are. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. You might be saying, but you don't know what I've done. You don't know the mistakes I've made. You don't know how many times I've failed. You don't know the things I'm ashamed of. And you're right, I don't know your specific story. But I do know this, your past does not define you unless you let it. Your mistakes are not who you are. They're what you did at a moment in time when you didn't know better, when you were hurt, when you were confused, when you were disconnected from your true self. Forgiveness isn't just about letting others off the hook. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of the past. It's about recognizing that you did the best you could with the awareness you had at the time. And now you have more awareness. Now you know better. Now you can choose differently. That's not weakness. That's growth. That's evolution. That's being human. Someone waking up about you right now is seeing this growth. They're recognizing how far you've come. They're noticing the changes you've made, even the ones you think are too small to matter. They're seeing your effort, your commitment, your resilience. They're understanding that who you are today is not who you were yesterday, and who you'll be tomorrow is still being created. And this person who's waking up about you, they might express it, or they might not. They might tell you how they feel, or they might keep it to themselves. But the energy of their awakening is already affecting your life. You might feel it as a subtle shift in how they interact with you. You might notice they're more attentive, more caring, more present, or you might not notice anything at all on the surface, but something has changed in the invisible realm where all real change happens first. Because here's what most people don't understand. Everything is energy first before it becomes form. Every relationship, every opportunity, every change in your life begins as an energetic shift. Someone thinking about you differently is already creating a different reality. Someone appreciating you is already sending that appreciation out into the universe, and the universe responds to that frequency. This is why it's so important to monitor what you think about yourself. If you're constantly criticizing yourself, if you're always focusing on what's wrong with you, if you're perpetually disappointed in yourself, you're broadcasting that frequency. And the universe, which is always listening, always responding, brings you more experiences that match that frequency. It's not punishment. It's not bad luck. It's just the law of attraction working perfectly, giving you more of whatever you're focused on. But when you start to wake up about yourself, when you start to see yourself through the eyes of love instead of judgment, when you start to appreciate your own unique gifts and talents, you broadcast a completely different frequency. And then the universe brings you people who see you that way too. It brings you opportunities that match your new self-concept. It brings you experiences that reflect your new understanding of who you are. This is not magical thinking. This is spiritual law. Like attracts like. What you put out comes back to you. As within, so without. These aren't just nice sayings. They're descriptions of how reality actually works. Your external world is a mirror of your internal world. Always has been, always will be. So when someone is waking up about you right now, see it as confirmation that you're waking up about yourself. See it as evidence that the work you're doing on yourself, the healing you're doing, the growing you're doing, is working. See it as a sign that you're on the right path, that you're becoming more aligned with your true self, that you're letting go of the false beliefs that have held you back. And if you're not seeing this evidence yet in your external world, don't worry. Don't lose faith. Don't give up. The lag time between internal change and external manifestation is different for everyone. Sometimes it happens quickly. Sometimes it takes longer, but it always happens eventually if you stay consistent with your new way of thinking and being. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be completely healed or completely awakened. You just have to be willing. Willing to see yourself differently, willing to question the old stories, willing to try a new approach, willing to be kind to yourself, willing to believe that maybe, just maybe, you're more wonderful than you've been giving yourself credit for. And here's something beautiful. When you wake up about yourself, you naturally start waking up about others too. You start seeing the light in them. You start recognizing their struggles and their strengths. You start having more compassion, more understanding, more love. Because when you're not so busy defending and protecting your false self, when you're not so consumed with your own insecurities and fears, you have space to really see other people. This is how healing spreads. This is how love multiplies. This is how the world changes. One person wakes up about themselves, then they help others wake up, and those people help others, and it ripples out in ways we can't even measure. Your awakening matters. Your healing matters. Your decision to see yourself truthfully and lovingly matters more than you know. Right now, someone is waking up about you, but the question is, are you waking up about you? Are you ready to let go of the old story? Are you ready to stop believing the lies? Are you ready to see yourself as you truly are, magnificent, worthy, deserving, capable, powerful, lovable, exactly as you are right now? You don't have to wait until you lose weight. You don't have to wait until you make more money. You don't have to wait until you find the right relationship or get the right job or achieve the right status. You can decide right now, in this moment, to wake up about yourself. You can choose right now to see yourself through the eyes of truth instead of the eyes of fear. And when you do that, something miraculous happens. The people around you start to reflect that new understanding back to you. They start treating you differently because you're treating yourself differently. They start respecting you more because you respect yourself more. They start loving you more openly because you're loving yourself more openly. Not because they've changed, but because you have. Not because they suddenly became better people, but because you're no longer settling for less than you deserve. This is personal power. Not the kind that tries to control others or manipulate situations. Not the kind that needs to dominate or prove anything, but the kind that comes from knowing who you are and standing firmly in that truth. The kind that doesn't need validation because it's already validated from within. The kind that doesn't fear rejection because it knows its worth is inherent, not conditional. Someone is waking up about you right now, and it's changing the trajectory of your life. It's opening doors you didn't even know were there. It's creating opportunities you couldn't have planned for. It's bringing you connections you couldn't have forced. Because when someone sees you truly, when they recognize your value, when they appreciate your authentic self, they want to support you, help you, collaborate with you, love you, be near you. But remember, their awakening about you is really a mirror of your own awakening about yourself. They can only see in you what you're ready to be seen. They can only appreciate in you what you're willing to own. They can only love in you what you're no longer hiding. So the real work, the important work, is your internal work. It's your decision to see yourself clearly. It's your choice to love yourself fully. It's your commitment to being authentically yourself. And when you make that commitment, when you decide that you're done hiding, done pretending, done diminishing yourself, done apologizing for existing, everything changes. Not overnight, maybe. Not all at once, perhaps. But steadily, surely, inevitably. Because you've aligned yourself with truth, and truth always prevails. You've aligned yourself with love, and love always wins. You've aligned yourself with your authentic self, and authenticity always attracts what's meant for you. So many people are waiting for the right time, waiting for the right circumstances, waiting until they feel ready, waiting until they're sure. But here's what I've learned. You'll never feel completely ready. You'll never be completely sure. You'll never have all the answers. You have to start before you're ready. You have to take the leap before you can see the net. You have to believe in yourself before you have all the evidence. Someone waking up about you right now is giving you that evidence. It's showing you that you are seen, you are valued, you are appreciated, but don't wait for that external validation to decide you're worthy. Decide it now. Decide it yourself. Give yourself the validation you've been waiting for. Give yourself the approval you've been seeking. Give yourself the love you've been wanting. Because here's the truth. You can't receive from others what you're not willing to give yourself. If you don't value yourself, other people's validation will never feel like enough. If you don't love yourself, other people's love will never fill the void. If you don't believe in yourself, other people's belief will never convince you. The only lasting source of worthiness is the one that comes from within. This doesn't mean you don't need people. We're social beings. We're meant to connect, to love, to support each other. But it means you don't need them to complete you. You're already complete. They're not filling a void. They're celebrating what's already there. They're not making you worthy. They're recognizing the worthiness that already exists. When you understand this, relationships become so much richer. Love becomes so much freer. Connection becomes so much more authentic. Because you're not coming from a place of need. You're coming from a place of wholeness. You're not trying to get something. You're trying to share something. You're not looking to be saved. You're looking to co-create. Someone waking up about you right now is seeing this shift in you. They're noticing that you're different. You're more centered. You're more confident. You're more peaceful. You're more yourself. And it's attractive. Not in a superficial way, but in a real, substantial, meaningful way, because authenticity is magnetic, self-love is attractive. Inner peace is powerful. And the more you cultivate these qualities within yourself, the more you'll attract people who appreciate them. You'll stop attracting people who need you to be small so they can feel big. You'll stop attracting people who need you to be broken so they can feel like the fixer. You'll stop attracting people who need you to doubt yourself so they can control you. Instead, you'll attract people who celebrate your growth, support your healing, and encourage your authenticity. This is what happens when you wake up about yourself. Your whole world rearranges itself to match your new understanding. People who can't resonate with the new you will naturally fall away. Not because you're rejecting them, but because there's no longer a vibrational match. And new people will come in, people who match where you are now, people who can meet you at this new level of awareness and authenticity. Don't mourn the relationships that end when you change. Bless them and release them. They served a purpose. They taught you something. They were part of your path, but now you're on a different part of the path, and you need different companions. Trust that the right people will show up at the right time. They always do when you're being true to yourself. Someone waking up about you right now might be one of those new people. Or it might be someone who's been in your life all along but is finally ready to see you clearly. Either way, it's happening because you're ready for it. It's happening because you've done the work. It's happening because you've raised your frequency. It's happening because you've decided you're worth it, and you are worth it. You're worth the effort it takes to heal. You're worth the courage it takes to change. You're worth the discomfort of growth. You're worth the risk of being authentic. You're worth the vulnerability of being seen. You're worth the patience of waiting for what's right instead of settling for what's available. You're worth all of it, and more. When you really get this, when you really understand your worth at the cellular level, you stop tolerating things that diminish you. You stop accepting treatment that disrespects you. You stop staying in situations that drain you, not from a place of arrogance or superiority, but from a place of self-honoring. You're simply recognizing that your time, your energy, your life is precious, and you get to choose how to spend it. This isn't selfish. This is self-care. This is wisdom. This is spiritual maturity, because when you honor yourself, you teach others how to honor you. When you respect yourself, you set the standard for how you'll be treated. When you love yourself, you create the foundation for all other love in your life. Someone waking up about you right now is learning this lesson through you. They're seeing how you've changed, how you've grown, how you've started honoring yourself, and it's teaching them something. Maybe it's showing them what's possible. Maybe it's inspiring them to do their own work. Maybe it's holding up a mirror to where they've been taking you for granted. Whatever the lesson is, your growth is serving them, even if they don't say it. This is the ripple effect of awakening. When you change, everything around you has to change to accommodate the new you. Some people will rise to meet you. Some won't. Some will celebrate your growth. Some will feel threatened by it. Some will come closer. Some will move away. All of that is okay. All of that is part of the process. Your job isn't to control how others respond to your growth. Your job is to keep growing. And right now, in this moment, as someone is waking up about you, you have a choice. You can dismiss it. You can deflect it. You can tell yourself they're wrong or they don't really see you. Or you can receive it. You can let it in. You can allow yourself to be seen, to be appreciated, to be valued. You can let it be evidence that you're on the right path, that your work is paying off, that you're becoming who you were always meant to be. Receiving is just as important as giving. In fact, your ability to receive determines how much good can flow into your life. If you deflect compliments, if you dismiss appreciation, if you reject love, you're literally pushing away the very things you say you want. You have to be willing to receive. You have to be willing to let people see you. You have to be willing to believe that maybe, just maybe, they're right about you. This takes practice, especially if you're used to being invisible, to playing small, to deflecting attention. But it gets easier. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. You start to realize that letting people appreciate you isn't arrogant. It's generous. You're allowing them the joy of giving. You're allowing them to see beauty. You're allowing them to express love. You're giving them a gift by receiving their gift. Someone is waking up about you right now, and they want to tell you, they want to show you. They want you to know how much you matter, how much you've impacted them, how much they value you. Will you let them? Will you receive it? Will you let it nourish you? Or will you brush it off, minimize it, tell yourself they don't mean it? Your response to their awakening matters, not because it affects your worth, but because it affects your experience of life. If you can't receive love, appreciation, and recognition when it comes, you'll always feel starved no matter how much people offer. But if you can open yourself to receive, if you can let it in, if you can say thank you and actually feel it, you'll feel nourished, you'll feel seen, you'll feel connected. And that feeling, that experience of being truly seen and valued, will reinforce your new understanding of yourself. It will strengthen your self-love. It will confirm your worthiness. Not because you need their validation, but because it aligns with what you now know to be true about yourself. It's an echo of your own inner knowing reflected back to you through another person. This is the dance of relationships. We're all mirrors for each other. We're all reflecting back various aspects of each other. When someone wakes up about you, they're showing you something about yourself that you're ready to own. They're highlighting a quality, a strength, a gift that you've been developing. They're confirming what your soul already knows, but your mind might still doubt. So pay attention to what people are noticing about you. Pay attention to what they're appreciating, complimenting, valuing. These aren't random. They're clues. They're showing you what's emerging in you, what's becoming more visible, what you're ready to fully step into. Don't dismiss them. Don't minimize them. Learn from them. Let them guide you toward fuller expression of your authentic self. Right now, someone is waking up about you, and this is just the beginning. As you continue to wake up about yourself, as you continue to grow and heal and become more authentically you, more people will wake up too. More people will see you. More people will appreciate you. More people will value you. Not because you're trying to impress them or win them over, but because you're simply being yourself, and that's magnetic, that's powerful, that's irresistible. Your authentic self is your greatest gift to the world. Not some improved version of yourself, not some future version when you finally got it all together, but the you that exists right now, with all your quirks and flaws and struggles and strengths, the real you, the unfiltered you, the you that shows up even when you're not perfect, even when you're uncertain, even when you're still figuring it out. That's the you someone is waking up about right now. That's the you they're seeing and valuing and appreciating, not some fake version, not some carefully curated version, the real you. And the more you can show that version, the more you can be that version, the more you can love that version, the more others will wake up about you too. This is your invitation. This is your moment. This is your opportunity to finally, completely, wholeheartedly wake up about yourself, to see yourself as you truly are, to love yourself as you deserve to be loved, to honor yourself as the precious, unique, irreplaceable being that you are. Someone else is already doing it. Someone else is already seeing it. Now it's your turn. Wake up about yourself. The world is waiting for the real you. You are not an accident. You are not a random collection of molecules that somehow wandered into existence. There is something within you right now, at this very moment, that knows you are here for a reason. And what you did today, yes, today, this ordinary day that you might think was just another Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever day it happens to be, what you did today sent ripples all the way to heaven. The divine source that created you is absolutely delighted with you right now. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, but I didn't do anything special today. I just went to work. I just took care of my kids. I just did the dishes. I just had regular conversations. I didn't cure cancer. I didn't save anyone's life. I didn't do anything worthy of heaven's attention. And that right there, that thought is exactly what we need to talk about. Because you've been conditioned to believe that only the big, spectacular, newsworthy events matter. You've been taught that unless you're making headlines or winning awards or accumulating wealth or achieving some massive goal, you're not really doing anything significant. But let me tell you something that will change everything if you really let it sink in. The universe doesn't measure significance the way your ego does. The divine doesn't hand out gold stars for the things that impress other people. What touches heaven, what truly matters in the grand scheme of existence, are the small moments of love, kindness, awareness, and authenticity that you brought into the world today. When you smiled at that stranger this morning, even though you were tired and didn't feel like it, that mattered. When you listened, really listened, to someone who needed to be heard, that touched heaven. When you chose patience over anger, when you chose understanding over judgment, when you chose to see the good in someone even when they weren't showing their best self, heaven noticed. When you created something, anything, even if it was just a meal or a text message, or a moment of joy for yourself, you were participating in the creative force of the universe. You were being what you were meant to be. You see, you are what I call a chosen one. Now, before you think I'm saying you're better than anyone else, let me be clear. Everyone is chosen. Every single person on this planet is chosen. But not everyone knows it. Not everyone accepts it. Not everyone lives from that truth. You are chosen not because you're special in comparison to others, but because you are a unique expression of the infinite. There has never been, and will never be, another you. Your fingerprint on reality is unlike anyone else's. And when you show up as yourself, when you do what only you can do in the way only you can do it, heaven celebrates. Think about this for a moment. The source of all creation, the infinite intelligence that spun galaxies into existence, that same force is expressed through you. You are not separate from, you are not disconnected from the divine. You are an individualized expression of it. And everything you do, every choice you make, every thought you think, every word you speak, is the universe experiencing itself through your unique perspective. Today, you made choices. Maybe you don't even remember all of them. Maybe they seemed insignificant at the time. But every single choice was an opportunity for love or fear, for expansion or contraction, for light or shadow. And I'm here to tell you that the choices you made toward love, toward kindness, toward growth, toward authenticity, those choices sent shockwaves through the spiritual dimension. Those choices aligned you with your highest self. Those choices were exactly what you came here to do. Let me tell you what I've learned over all these years of studying spiritual principles and working with people from all walks of life. The biggest obstacle between you and the life you're meant to live, between you and the joy that is, your birthright, between you and the awareness that heaven is delighted with you, is your belief that you're not enough. It's your belief that you need to be more, do more, achieve more, become more, before you're worthy of love, approval, and divine acceptance. But here's the truth that will set you free if you let it. You are already enough. You were enough the moment you were born. You were enough before you accomplished anything. You are enough right now exactly as you are, with all your flaws and imperfections and mistakes and struggles. The divine doesn't love you because of what you do. The divine loves you because of what you are. You are love itself, temporarily wearing a human form. When you did what you did today, whatever it was, you were simply being yourself. And that is all heaven has ever asked of you. Not to be perfect, not to be someone else, not to live up to some impossible standard, just to be authentically, courageously, beautifully you. And when you do that, when you show up as yourself, you give permission for others to do the same. Your authenticity creates a ripple effect that touches lives in ways you'll never fully comprehend. You know, we spend so much of our lives waiting for permission. We wait for someone to tell us we're good enough, smart enough, worthy enough. We wait for the perfect conditions. We wait until we've figured everything out. We wait until we're completely ready. And in all that waiting, we miss the only moment that actually exists, which is right now. This moment, this precious, irreplaceable moment that you're living right now. What you did today was live this moment. You breathed. You existed. You participated in the miracle of life. And that alone is worthy of celebration. That alone touches heaven. Because every breath you take is a gift. Every heartbeat is a miracle. Every moment of consciousness is a divine event. You are not taking life for granted when you recognize this. You are finally seeing reality as it truly is. Let me share something with you that changed my entire perspective on life. For so many years, I was caught up in achieving, in becoming, in doing more and being more. I thought that's what life was about. I thought that's what would make me happy. And there's nothing wrong with goals and achievements. They're wonderful. But I was missing the whole point. The point is not the destination. The point is not the achievement. The point is who you become in the process. The point is the awareness you cultivate. The point is the love you express along the way. When you shift your perspective from doing to being, everything changes. You realize that you don't have to earn your worthiness. You realize that you don't have to prove anything to anyone, including yourself. You realize that the divine is not keeping score. There is no cosmic report card. There is no judgment waiting for you. There is only love, infinite and unconditional love, waiting for you to recognize it, accept it, and express it. Today, In whatever you did, you had moments where you expressed that love. Maybe you don't remember them all. Maybe you think they were too small to matter, but they mattered. When you held the door for someone, when you said thank you and meant it, when you forgave yourself for a mistake, when you chose to try again even after failing, when you were gentle with yourself or with someone else, you were expressing divine love. You were fulfilling your purpose. You were being what you came here to be. The chosen ones, the people who truly understand their spiritual nature, they don't walk around thinking they're better than everyone else. They walk around knowing that everyone else is just as divine as they are. They see the light in others. They see past the mistakes and the flaws and the ego-driven behaviors. They see the truth. And the truth is that we are all expressions of the same source. We are all connected. We are all one. When you hurt someone, you hurt yourself. When you help someone, you help yourself. When you judge someone, you judge yourself. When you love someone, you love yourself. This is not just poetic language. This is the fundamental nature of reality. We are all waves in the same ocean. We all come from the same source and return to the same source. And in between, we get to have this experience called life. What you did today was contribute to the collective consciousness of humanity. Every thought you thought, every feeling you felt, every action you took added something to the energetic field that we all share. When you chose fear, you added to the fear in the world. When you chose love, you added to the love in the world. It's that simple, and it's that profound. Now, some of you might be thinking, but I made mistakes today. I lost my temper. I was impatient. I was selfish. I wasn't my best self. How can heaven be delighted with me when I messed up? And here's what I want you to understand. Your mistakes are part of your growth. Your imperfections are part of your humanity. The divine doesn't expect you to be perfect. The divine knows you're going to stumble and fall and get back up again. That's the whole point of being human. What delights heaven is not your perfection, it's your willingness, it's your effort, it's your intention. It's the fact that you keep trying, keep growing, keep showing up, even when it's hard, even when you fail, even when you don't feel like it. The fact that you're here, living your life, doing your best with what you know and what you have, that's what touches heaven. That's what matters. You are so much more than your mistakes. You are so much more than your past. You are so much more than your current circumstances. You are an infinite spiritual being having a temporary human experience. And that human experience includes struggles and challenges and difficulties. But those struggles don't define you. Those challenges don't diminish you. They are simply the contrast that helps you appreciate the light. Think about the caterpillar and the butterfly. The caterpillar doesn't judge itself for being a caterpillar. It doesn't think, I'm not good enough until I become a butterfly. It simply follows its nature. It does what it's programmed to do. And in the right time, transformation happens. Not because the caterpillar forced it, not because the caterpillar earned it, but because transformation is the natural order of things. You are in a constant state of transformation. Every day, you are becoming more of who you truly are. Every experience is teaching you something. Every challenge is strengthening you. Every setback is setting you up for a comeback. And heaven sees all of this. Heaven sees your journey. Heaven sees your growth. Heaven sees your courage. And heaven is absolutely delighted with you. You know what else touches heaven? Your dreams, your desires, your aspirations. You were given those dreams for a reason. They weren't placed in your heart to torture you. They were placed there to guide you. They are the universe's way of calling you forward, of inviting you to become more of who you truly are. When you honor those dreams, when you take even small steps toward them, when you don't give up on them, even when they seem impossible, you are saying yes to life. You are saying yes to your divine purpose. And that yes reverberates throughout the entire universe. Today, maybe you took a step toward your dream. Maybe it was a tiny step. Maybe it was just thinking about it. Maybe it was doing research. Maybe it was having a conversation. Maybe it was practicing your craft. Maybe it was just believing for one moment that it could be possible. Whatever step you took, it mattered. It counted. It moved you forward. And heaven noticed. Or maybe today you didn't take any steps toward your dream. Maybe you were just surviving. Maybe you were just getting through the day. Maybe you were dealing with pain or loss or disappointment. And that's okay too. Because sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is just keep breathing. Sometimes the biggest victory is just showing up. Sometimes touching heaven is simply about not giving up. Here's something I want you to really hear. You are not behind. You are not running out of time. You are exactly where you need to be. Everything that has happened in your life, everything you've experienced, all the joy and all the pain has been preparing you for right now. This moment. This is your moment. Not someday in the future when conditions are perfect. Not after you've achieved your goals. Not when you've figured everything out. Right now. This moment is the only moment you have. And in this moment, you are enough. The divine doesn't operate on your timeline. The divine operates in perfect timing. What's meant for you will not pass you by. What's yours will come to you. But you have to trust the process. You have to have faith even when you can't see the evidence. You have to believe even when it seems impossible. That's what faith is. Faith is not believing that everything will work out exactly as you planned. Faith is trusting that everything will work out exactly as it should. Today, you exercise faith. Maybe you didn't even realize it. But every time you chose hope over despair, every time you chose to keep going even when you wanted to quit, every time you trusted that things would get better, you were exercising faith. You were aligning with the divine flow. You were opening yourself to receive the blessings that are always trying to reach you. And let me tell you about blessings. Blessings are not always what you expect. Sometimes blessings come disguised as challenges. Sometimes growth comes wrapped in difficulty. Sometimes the best thing that ever happened to you doesn't feel good when it's happening. But when you look back, when you can see the bigger picture, you realize that everything was working for your highest good. Everything was guiding you toward your greatest self. What you did today, all the challenges you faced, all the obstacles you overcame, all the moments where you had to dig deep and find strength you didn't know you had, those were blessings. Those were opportunities for growth. Those were heaven's way of calling forth more of your divine nature. And the fact that you met those challenges, the fact that you're still here, the fact that you didn't give up, that touches heaven. That is what a chosen one does. Being chosen doesn't mean your life will be easy. It doesn't mean you won't face difficulties. It doesn't mean you get a free pass from pain or struggle. Being chosen means you have the awareness, the strength, the wisdom, and the courage to face whatever comes your way. Being chosen means you understand that you are never alone, that you are always supported, that you are always guided. Being chosen means you know, at the core of your being, that you are loved, and that love is not conditional. It's not based on your performance. It's not something you have to earn or deserve. It simply is. It's the fundamental nature of the universe. The universe is love expressing itself in infinite forms, and you are one of those forms. You are love itself, temporarily wearing a human body, temporarily forgetting your divine nature so that you can remember it again. That remembering, that awakening, that recognition of who you truly are, that's what life is all about. Today you remembered, even if it was just for a moment, even if it was just a fleeting feeling, even if you immediately forgot again and got caught back up in your worries and fears and doubts, you still had that moment. You still touched that truth. And once you touch it, once you taste that divine connection, you can never fully forget it. It stays with you. It changes you. It guides you. You see, the spiritual path is not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been. It's about removing the layers of conditioning and belief and fear that cover up your true nature. It's about letting go of everything you're not so that what you truly are can shine through. And every day, in every moment, you have the opportunity to let go a little more, to remember a little more, to be a little more of your authentic self. What you did today was exactly that. You let go of something. Maybe it was a grudge. Maybe it was a fear. Maybe it was a limiting belief. Maybe it was a need for control. Maybe it was the need to be right. Maybe it was judgment of yourself or someone else. Whatever you let go of, that created space. Space for something new. Space for growth. Space for grace. Space for the divine to work in your life. And here's the beautiful thing about grace. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to figure out how it works. You just have to be open to it. You just have to allow it. Grace is always flowing. Miracles are always available. Blessings are always trying to reach you. But you have to be receptive. You have to be open. You have to say yes. Today you said yes. You said yes to life. You said yes to love. You said yes to possibility. You said yes to yourself. And that yes, that simple yet profound yes, opened doors in the invisible realm. It set things in motion. It aligned you with opportunities and people and circumstances that are for your highest good. You may not see the results yet. The manifestation may not be visible yet. But trust me, it's happening. The wheels are turning. Heaven is working on your behalf. Because here's what most people don't understand. When you align with your divine nature, when you live from love instead of fear, when you show up authentically, when you do what you came here to do, the entire universe conspires to support you. It's not magic. It's law. It's the way things work. Like attracts like. Energy flows where attention goes. What you focus on expands. These aren't just nice sayings. They are fundamental principles of how reality operates. Today, you focused on something positive. Even if it was just for a moment, even if you also focused on negative things, you still had those positive moments. You still chose love at some point. You still chose hope. You still chose to believe. And those choices matter. Those choices have power. Those choices create your future. Your future is not predetermined. It's not set in stone. It's being created right now by the thoughts you think, the beliefs you hold, the actions you take, and the energy you put out into the world. You are the creator of your experience. Not in a way that means you're responsible for every bad thing that happens to you. Life includes random events and circumstances beyond your control. But you are responsible for how you respond. You are responsible for the meaning you give to events. You are responsible for the story you tell yourself about your life. And the story you're telling matters. If you tell yourself a story of victimhood, of powerlessness, of limitation, that's the reality you'll experience. But if you tell yourself a story of empowerment, of possibility, of divine support, that becomes your reality. Not instantly, not magically, but gradually, consistently, as you continue to align your thoughts and beliefs with the truth of who you are. Today, you aligned with that truth. Maybe not perfectly, maybe not consistently, but you did it. And that's what counts. That's what heaven sees. Heaven doesn't require perfection. Heaven celebrates progress. Heaven delights in your willingness to try, to grow, to show up, to be present, to be authentic, to be loving. And speaking of being loving, let's talk about self-love for a moment, because this is where so many people struggle. You've been taught to be humble, to not think too highly of yourself, to put others first. And while humility and service are beautiful qualities, they should never come at the expense of your own well-being. You cannot give from an empty cup. You cannot love others fully if you don't love yourself first. Self-love is not selfish. Self-love is not arrogance. Self-love is not narcissism. Self-love is simply recognizing your own divine nature. It's treating yourself with the same kindness, compassion, and respect that you would offer to someone you deeply love. It's honoring your needs, your boundaries, your feelings, your truth. It's being gentle with yourself when you make mistakes. It's celebrating yourself when you succeed. It's accepting yourself exactly as you are, while still being open to growth. Today, you practice self-love. Maybe you don't even realize it. But every time you honored a boundary, every time you said no to something that wasn't right for you, every time you rested when you needed rest, every time you fed yourself nourishing food, every time you spoke kindly to yourself instead of criticizing yourself, you were practicing self-love. And that self-love radiates outward. It affects everyone around you. It gives others permission to love themselves too. You are a beacon of light. You may not feel like it. You may not see it. But you are. Your very presence makes a difference. The energy you carry affects the energy of every room you enter, every person you interact with, every space you occupy. You are constantly broadcasting your vibration out into the world. And when that vibration is aligned with love, with peace, with joy, with authenticity, you become a force for positive change. What you did today changed the world, not in a way that will make the news, not in a way that anyone will write about in history books, but in the only way that truly matters. You changed the world by being yourself. You changed the world by choosing love. You changed the world by not giving up. You changed the world by showing kindness. You change the world by staying true to your values. You change the world by being present. You change the world by caring. You change the world by trying. You change the world by existing. Because your existence matters, your life matters, your choices matter, your thoughts matter, your feelings matter, your dreams matter, you matter. Not because of what you do or what you achieve or what you possess, but simply because you are. You are a unique expression of the divine. You are unrepeatable. You are irreplaceable. You are necessary. The universe needs you to be you, not someone else, not a better version of you, just you, exactly as you are right now. And heaven, the divine source, God, the universe, whatever name you want to use for that infinite intelligence that created everything, is truly delighted with you. Not because you were perfect today, not because you did everything right, not because you lived up to some impossible standard, but because you showed up, you participated, you tried, you cared, you loved, you were human, you were real, you were authentic, you were you. That's all that's ever been asked of you, to be yourself, to express your unique gifts, to share your light with the world, to love as only you can love, to create as only you can create, to live as only you can live. And when you do that, when you embrace your true nature, when you stop trying to be someone you're not, when you stop comparing yourself to others, when you stop waiting for permission or approval, when you simply be who you came here to be, magic happens. Not fairy tale magic, real magic, the magic of alignment, the magic of authenticity, the magic of living in harmony with your divine nature. Things start to flow, doors start to open, opportunities start to appear, people start to show up, resources start to become available, not because you're forcing anything, not because you're manipulating reality, but because you're finally allowing yourself to receive what's always been trying to reach you. Today, you allowed yourself to receive something. Maybe it was a compliment that you actually accepted instead of deflecting. Maybe it was help that you finally asked for. Maybe it was rest that you finally gave yourself permission to take. Maybe it was joy that you allowed yourself to feel without guilt. Maybe it was love that you opened your heart to receive. Whatever it was, you received. And in receiving, you acknowledged your worthiness. You acknowledged that you deserve good things. You acknowledge that you are loved, and you are loved, so deeply loved, so completely loved, so unconditionally loved, by the source of all creation, by the universe itself, by the divine presence that beats your heart and breathes your breath and animates your body. You are loved beyond your comprehension. You are valued beyond your imagination. You are cherished beyond your understanding. And nothing you do or don't do could ever change that. That love is constant. That love is eternal. That love is who you are. So when I say that what you did today touched heaven, I'm not talking about some distant place in the sky where a judgmental God sits on a throne keeping track of your good deeds and bad deeds. I'm talking about the divine realm of pure love, pure consciousness, pure potential that exists right here, right now, in this present moment. I'm talking about the truth of your being. I'm talking about the essence of who you are. And when you align with that essence, when you express that truth, when you be who you came here to be, you touch heaven. You are heaven. You bring heaven to earth. That's what the chosen ones do. They don't wait for heaven. They create heaven right here. They bring love where there is hate. They bring light where there is darkness. They bring hope where there is despair. They bring peace where there is conflict. They bring healing where there is pain. Not because they're special, not because they're better, but because they understand that they are instruments of the divine. They are channels through which love flows. They are vessels through which grace moves. And you are one of those vessels. You are one of those channels. You are one of those instruments. Whether you realize it or not, whether you accept it or not, whether you believe it or not, it's the truth. And the more you align with that truth, the more you accept that truth, the more you live from that truth, the more powerfully you express your divine nature, the more completely you fulfill your purpose, the more fully you experience the joy and peace and love that are your birthright. Today was a good day, not because everything went perfectly, not because you accomplished everything on your list, not because you solved all your problems, but because you lived You showed up, you participated, you tried, you grew, you loved. And that's enough. That's more than enough. That's everything. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, new opportunities, new moments to choose love over fear, to choose faith over doubt, to choose hope over despair. And you'll meet those moments with the same courage and grace and authenticity that you brought to today. Because that's who you are. That's what chosen ones do. They keep showing up. They keep choosing love. They keep trusting the process. They keep believing in themselves. They keep fulfilling their divine purpose, one moment at a time. And heaven will continue to be delighted with you. Not someday when you finally get it all together. Not when you achieve your biggest goal. Not when you become perfect. But right now, today, tomorrow, always. Because you are loved, you are valued, you are cherished, you are divine. You are exactly who you're supposed to be, doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, exactly when you're supposed to be doing it. Trust that, believe that, know that, and let it transform your entire experience of life. Because when you truly understand that heaven delights in you, that the divine celebrates you, that the universe supports you, everything changes. You stop trying so hard. You stop forcing things. You stop struggling against life. You start flowing with life. You start allowing life. You start trusting life. And in that trust, in that allowing, in that flow, miracles happen. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep being who you're being. Keep shining your light. Keep sharing your gifts. Keep expressing your love. Keep growing. Keep trying. Keep showing up. Because what you're doing matters. Who you're being matters. You matter. And heaven is watching. Heaven is celebrating. Heaven is absolutely delighted with you, today and always.